Do you guys find like, and this is probably a question for all three of you guys, since you all kind of worked, for the big two at one point or other. Do you guys find more satisfaction working with the corporate comics, or would you rather be doing your own stuff like Jade Warriors or, starting innovation, things like that?
All right. In my case, 99% of what I've done has been for um, independent publishers. The most mainstream stuff I've done, there's been a lot of it. When you think of mainstream, you think of Marvel and DC.
Yeah, absolutely.
From my company, mainstream is anybody paying well that's getting good distribution. Our best client is Simon and Schuster.
Okay.
Now, I have to put something in perspective. In the past 12 months, we've drawn 8,000 pages of comics for Simon and Schuster.
Wow.
So got to understand the level of output, but they're not doing regular 32-page comics. They are doing
like the
books like this, Goddess Girls, 200 pages, Heroes in Training. And you see this David Campiti guy writing these.
Oh yeah.
But so we do these and Spirited and just so many different things. I think we've worked on like 12 different series for them. I enjoy doing those, and they've given me a lot of flexibility in getting them written. But at the end of the day, you don't own them. You don't get royalties on them.
Yeah.
So you want to do the creator-owned stuff in the hopes that down the road there's some green there that you may not see it now, but you might see it later on.
And that you own something, right? Like you have like an IP that you own, right?
Yeah. So here with Jade Warriors is something that we started on in some way, shape, or form in 1995 or 96.
Oh, really?
It came out. 3 issues of Jade Warriors came out at Image Comics. Before that, there was a 10 or 12 page Death Kiss story that introduced that character that was in Asylum #2 from Extreme Studios.
Oh, wow.
And then we did 1 issue for somebody else, and when they don't pay you keep going and somewhere else.
Yeah, right.
But so we had that material, and it was sitting for decades. And then the 3 of us talked. It's like, well, why don't we finish this? So here was something that we began decades ago. Now we could put it on Kickstarter and get attention, and one hopes by the end of these Kickstarters more money than we would have seen from Image or anybody else.
We are in a golden age for that right now. So now, it's a great time for it. I feel like creator owned is kind of taken back a little bit of the comic industry a little bit, and it shows, And
it really needs to, because the way the market has been structured, this whole work made for hire thing is just a god awful situation. You got some that will take maximum advantage of it, and maybe you get paid your page rate and you don't see another dime ever on anything. And then you find, okay, that was reprinted in 14 different countries a number of times, and you're not seeing a penny. Or, you do it for Marvel in DC, and DC you'll get international royalties. Marvel won't even pay you that. So, there are strong limitations there. I would rather have the opportunity to do something like Jade Warriors, and I know Diodato is doing a whole mess of creator-owned things, where you hope you eventually see the game or the movie or the TV show or any combination of merchandise at the tail end.
Absolutely.
And that becomes not only your retirement, but you hope something for your family much later on.
For sure. Oh, yeah. I feel like, so when I remember being a kid going into comic shops, it was part of what got me there was seeing indie books like The Max on MTV and Spawn on HBO, and I'm like, well, what are these? Because I was normally just used to reading X-Men comics or
Mm.
Spider-Man or X Factor, you know what I mean? So when I started finding out there's these deeper, grittier, more advanced, adults, more adult stories out there. I got hooked. It opened me up to indie comics. And that was a golden age for it too, because then you saw these things like The Crow and Tank Girl becoming movies, and I feel like Hollywood might be coming back to that, where it's start reaching out to the fringes of comics to find new properties and things of that nature.
I think that's the case. That these things are going to ebb and flow, and so you don't know what the next thing is that Hollywood's going to pick up.
Yep.
But you get enough stuff out there, and you hope something's going to catch people's attention.
Plastic City Comic Con presents, in association with Mellow Fellow Trading, a second exclusive comic cover with art by Dan Parent. Inspired by famous beach beauty Kristen Brinkley, it's the beautiful Betty Cooper in Archie Comics' Betty and Veronica Summer Spectacular. This exclusive cover is available only at Plastic City Comic Con. Meet artist Dan Parent and pick up a copy of this exclusive cover, only at Plastic City Comic Con, Saturday, July 20th, 2024, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Doubletree by Hilton in Leominster, Massachusetts. Admission is just $10. Visit PlasticCityComicCon.com for early tickets and info.